All right, our next speaker, Ste Kinney-Fields, uses they, them pronouns. They are an interfaith spiritual director. They've been active in the LGBTQIA 2S+, organizing for close to 2 decades and aspire to ground themselves and others in intersectional, accountable, and grounded practice. Please help me in welcoming Ste.
Thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you for being here tonight. In order to prepare for this event, I've been thinking about what Trans Day of Remembrance, also called Trans Day of Resilience, means to me. Trans Day of Remembrance has shifted for me over the years as my identity and my community have shifted. A time to honor the courage, the truth of our dead. A time to mourn friends of friends. It's been a container to hold grief so that the rest of the year is a little more manageable. A chance to come together with other trans people and allies and feel less alone. A time to fret and fear and worry about my beloveds. And it has also been a time for me to reflect on the fact that I do not look like most of the victims. As a white, non-binary person who isn't a trans woman or anywhere on the trans feminine spectrum, Trans Day of Remembrance is an opportunity for me to step into compassion and connection and alliance and away from my fragility and away from separation. It is a chance for me to acknowledge that my pains and fears and risks do not look the same as some of my trans siblings, but I still have the opportunity to commit my dreams and my work to a collective liberation that binds us together. To be very honest with you, unpacking these multitudinous meanings was an overwhelming process this weekend. I fell apart many times. Thank you to my partner for sticking with me. It was just too much. I can't narrow down that list of things that this means to me, to us, to a 10-minute talk, and if I could, I wouldn't be able to hold it all inside of my head at the same time. I wouldn't be able to hold myself together. And so I want to spend the rest of my time here focused not on my thoughts, but on my breath. I want to invite the rest of my body-mind to feel welcomed and valued in this space. And I'd like to invite your body-mind to feel welcomed and valued in this space too. I'll be focusing here on real air, real, tangible air that moves into your body and into your lungs, that moves oxygen to your heart and beats this throughout your body to keep you moving and warm and alive. So I invite you to start by finding a way to connect to this air. You can settle into your breath if that's comfortable to you. Most bodies feel a little calmer when they exhale, a little longer than they inhale. Mine does. You may find that your heartbeat or your pulse, another sign of oxygen pumping through your body, is a better way to ground. You can rub your hands together and feel the warmth circulating through your body from that blood. But I invite you to settle into your own tempo, the rhythm of your body as it brings the air of this room into you and out of you. This air connects us. On a very physical level, the air in this room is the collective breath of our crowd, and the air has reverberated with Birdie's words, with Erica's music. As you breathe in, as your heart beats, I invite you to imagine that those words, that music is carried in the air and enters into your body, filling your lungs, your heart, your skin with the collective and powerful experience of trans people and their allies gathering together to say that we are important and valued and will honor each other in our life and our death. With each beat, each exhalation, your experience is added back, mingled into the crowd, participating in this basic physical level in the presence of our shared community. Before this room, the air was blown across our earth, kicking up autumn leaves and snow and the sand on Lake Michigan's shores, and when it leaves here, it will blow across more lands and more waters, and it will cycle, circulating back into the lives of other trans people and allies. It will blow by them on walks to work and circulate through houses and cars and prisons and sidewalks. And we can breathe and know, in some sense, we can be there with them and witness them. Just as right now, the air you are breathing has carried the words of other trans people as they spoke their truths, their desires, their fears. We know this breath has carried pain, and I honor that. With every breath you beat, you also circulate air that has carried trans people speaking their stories of pain, of abuse, but also triumph and truth. It carries the stories of allies, friends, confidants, and lovers that said, I hear you, I believe you. You are valid and important. Even though you can't hear those words being spoken by all of those voices right now, allow yourself to imagine the support and care that infuses the air can enter your body and circulate through your veins, knowing that you too are heard, are believed, that you are valid and important, and that what you say and do will continue to have ripples beyond the edges of your body. With each breath-infused heartbeat, you have Laverne Cox whispering into your body the truth that it is revolutionary for any trans person, you perhaps, to choose to be seen and visible in a world that tells us we should not exist. Our collective air has been not only the words and music here tonight, but we know that air has carried chants of freedom and solidarity and dignity all across our earth. It has been our people's songs of hope and demands for respect. And with each breath you take in trans history, infused into the blanket of oxygen and carbon dioxide that weaves this world together with our collective breath. Inevitably, at some time, you can imagine that you have breathed the whoosh of Sylvia Rivera throwing the first bottle at the Stonewall Inn and Marsha P. Johnson throwing the first brick. You breathe in Elena Rose Vera, a transgender minister, reminding you that you deserve beauty and joy, that this is still a world with you in it, and you too are worth fighting for. You breathe in countless centuries of trans and gender variant people, of people beyond the binary we currently recognize on this unceded, stolen land, their stories carried to you on a breath. They move through your heart and your blood, nourishing you, feeding the fire of your body, as they do mine. See, my body-mind may have been sparked into existence by biological ancestors, but that spark shines brightest when I let my ancestors expand to include and be fed by streams of thought and care that honor who I am, who you are. When I acknowledge the lineages of trans and gender nonconforming artists and musicians, activists, truth tellers, friends, beloveds, who weave by breath and by pulse to the rest of you, and to our collective liberation, a goal that can only be reached when people like me step into compassion and out of fragility. When people like me look to trans women, and especially trans women of color, and honor their goals, their fears, their personhood, and their leadership, and not just their memory. Tonight, I choose to honor those lineages and see that they feed the best parts of us so that we can fight for each other, because we are worth it. I choose to grieve and celebrate and honor those who have been taken from us. I choose to keep breathing through pain and fear, to invite the ghosts to take up residence in my heart, and to acknowledge that we are bound together and I must do my part to work for connection and liberation for those of us who are still here. I invite you to do the same. I choose to believe that with each conscious breath of trans history, I feed the flame inside of me, my passion for justice, my passion for being who I am and seeing you as you are. May that flame shine bright and strong so that we can find each other, find joy in our connections, honor our stories, and work for the liberation of ourselves and the trans people who are yet to come, in honor of those we have lost. Thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you for breathing with me.